Hi, ladies and gentlemen. You know who I am. I'm Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. You know, we've had a lot of conversations in our lifetime about who controls things. We've seen a lot of responses. But as I sit here before you, the people, at this moment in time, I have to say that with all that I have encountered and can recall, remember, and utilize during this period of time, I must say I could never hold allegiance to anyone, their ideas that were not as good as my own. In other words, I could not follow the dictates or the leadership of a president or an organization, whether it was a small group or whether it was the result of an entire country, majority rule, democracy, again, being challenged. If the ideas and vision of life or that particular matter that I'm being dealt with at that moment or any moment in time, then I would have to hold to what I know to be true. In other words, what others have experienced, I'm grateful for. Whatever good news they bring, I am grateful for and offer that anyone else consider these facts just as I have. But when it comes down to accepting what is real, what is truth, then I must make a decision for myself based upon what I understand to be. And I've lived at a time where I've seen men walk before the cameras. I've seen men walk before the world, as it were, and tell some of the biggest lies that you can ever imagine being told. I have witnessed people who accepted those lies as being truth, who walked according to those lies as being truth. And I've seen the devastations that came back as a result of such deception. But I have seen the people also pay the price that was unmerited. But when you go down that road, and if that is what is there, so I say, if I go, let it be because I am feeling that this is the way to go. When it comes down to Donald Trump in the United States of America and what he's about, it's despicable. It's just total, to me, it's despicable. When I hear Joe Biden speak, I know he represents perhaps a great majority of the Democratic Party. It's not as despicable as Donald Trump. But to me, it's despicable nonetheless. And when I watch you, the people who are affected by the leadership of Biden or Trump, and see what it does and have no idea of what you want, what you need, what you desire, require in any form or fashion of how to get it, and accept things as they are, even when it goes to the point of seeing perhaps your own or this nation destroyed. Now, you talking about despicable. That is despicable. You see, this is what I observed. The Democratic Party, the Republican Party, you know what they represent. But this is what's in my brain, and this is what's in my heart, and this is what's coming out through my mouth. I see all of the resources that's used to do everything that we as human beings ever done and that we will ever do comes from a power that's outside of you, outside of we, the people, and that those resources existed before we did, and perhaps will after we're gone. So those resources do not belong to us, but they are here for a purpose, and that purpose probably includes what they're being used for. That being the case, I understand that everybody on this earth have a need to survive, a desire to survive, and there are specifics that's absolutely essential for survival. A couple of them might be food, clothing, shelter, water, and blood. You know the whole works. Every individual requires it. And beyond that, to progress, there are other things that's needed that is available to you. For instance, education, healthcare, transportation, and all those other things that we have designed by listening to we the people, who says that these are things are essential for our satisfaction. We the people have heard, and we've spoken, and we have caused the manifestation thereof. Problem becomes when we cannot, as a people, access, and we find ourselves looking across the scope, and we find that we are dealing with power. We're dealing for whatever it takes to control and manipulate others. Whatever it takes. You could call it whatever it takes. Those who are willing to do it. And so that being the case, then what separates those who will not commit from those that will? Well, those that will, you understand they are doing, regardless of what their problems might be, regardless of what they might be thinking, how pissed off they might be. The thing that matters is what they are doing. They are lending their hands, giving their power to that which they detest. Then what about those who say no? Well, we must understand, truth will teach us that in a system where this kind of manipulation, where this kind of evil, where this kind of exploitation takes place, then there are no limits to what one might do to protect that which is representative of. And so for those who stand against, they expose. But the power that they have comes by their ability, their authority that they exude when they stand for what it is that they are about. And not even the threat of death will cause them to change. In fact, it is the threat of death that monumentally caused their life to be worthwhile. And it, my friends, glorifies freedom from the lives of others. Because lying to others causes pain and sickness and suffering and crime and violence and terror and war and hatred and racism, all that other kind of stuff. But standing alone, my friends, separates you from all of that. And all of that which is no good stands to come against you. You who gives life to righteousness. You who just by standing there speaks to the world and says there is a God and it is not you. And because of that, I have no fear. No fear before I came here. No fear beyond the next move. So what can you do to me? That's power. That's power. And then you know what? In the past, as far as my life is concerned, they're killed. But it's all right because they were dead to the world anyway. And they became alive to the truth they understood. Now, for me to say beyond that would be like me engaging in all the other lies that I say others tell. I don't know what happens beyond that, but I do know what happens up to that point. I haven't gotten to the point of being killed yet. But I've been through some stuff. And I know that if I'm going by this life that I'm living, going to have an impact on that to cause you to have some relief. To cause you to be in a position that you can have your needs, your wants, and your desires to be met at your leisure. Well, you don't have to go through this suffering. When I get to that point, my friends, what a day that will be. And to all of that to happen just because I was here to give my life, what better way to die? And so that tells me that one of the most magnificent things in living in a body, in the form as we see it today, is where we are living to cause growth of love. And where love is denied, it gives you the calling to stand up. And you show that love to be as big as it is required to deal with the ugliness in the world that you live in. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking to you because I'm fed up with listening and all the lies and the problems of them. When I see the buildings in, I think that might be Israel, or when I see on the other side the buildings, all of the destructions, before they were wonderful buildings in pictures, they looked magnificent, and now it's just rubble, and it's not even stopping. And then you see the babies with blood dripping. When you see the old folks and other people just out there fun and running, don't know where they're going, just screaming, help me somebody, help me Lord God, help me somebody. But there is no Lord God around here, because everybody's hands are dirty, and they have to be careful where they put them, because it might cause a wildfire. Causing a wildfire might not be something that the world is asking for right now, because they're waiting. They need a little bit more time to claim the world as their own. Just give them time. But righteousness is always on time, and it stands. So what's happening in all of this hell that's going on right now? Where's righteousness? The world is calling. The Spirit is saying, where are you? Righteousness that could stand to support the cause of life for all of these, our brothers and sisters who are suffering so. There is no answer to be heard. Why? Because everyone is limited by the control of that for which they give their power to. And that is me, and that is you. So as I would say, my life seems more wonderful as I think about you and trying to do whatever I'm being led to do based upon how I'm being manipulated with the Spirit. I want to see all of us free, not just me, but I want to commit as much to your freedom as I commit to my own. I want to thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen, for giving me this your time. Until next, this is Eddie Marcus saying goodbye for now.